Fantasy Warfare just got real. What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Nick here, and today I reveal my breakdown predictions for WWE Survivor Series, presented by HULU Plus, Come TV With Us, and also presented by Mattel's Then, Now, and Forever action figures, available only at Walmart. And we would like to send out a special thanks to The Weeknd for False Alarm, the official Survivor Series theme song, available now on iTunes and Spotify. Alright guys, we're going to kick things off with the Cruiserweight Championship as the Brian Kendrick defends the title against Kalisto, with the stipulation that if Kalisto wins against Brian Kendrick this Sunday, then the entire Cruiserweight division and the Cruiserweight title will go to SmackDown Live. Now, Kalisto, I can definitely see Kalisto being a great Cruiserweight champion if he were to win. But Brian Kendrick is more wise in the ring than he was before, because when he was a part of WWE in like 2005, 2006, he was all talk and he was all bark and no bite, you know. He was young, he was a little cocky, and he took that for granted. That's why he left WWE in 2009. Now he's back in the WWE, and he's now Cruiserweight champion. And Kalisto, he's brash, he's cocky, you know, but at least unlike Brian Kendrick, in my opinion, at least Kalisto can actually get it done. Even though Kalisto was out of action with an injury, and I can definitely see Kalisto bringing the Cruiserweight Championship to SmackDown Live instead of leaving it on Raw. So I'm gonna have to go with Kalisto on this one, because I think Kalisto, what he needs to do, is what he should do anyway, is find Kendrick's weak spot, exploit it, and use that weak spot against him. And if Kalisto can do that, I think Kalisto can win. So I'm going with Kalisto on this one. Alright guys, now we move on to the Intercontinental Championship, as the new Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, will be defending the title in his first title defense since he won it back last night on SmackDown Live against Sami Zayn. Now, like I said with the Cruiserweight title, if Sami Zayn wins the Intercontinental title, then the title will go to Raw. Alright, so last night on SmackDown Live, for those of you who did not watch, last night on SmackDown Live, on their 900th episode of SmackDown Live, The Miz regained the Intercontinental title from Dolph Ziggler for the 6th time in his career. Of course, with the help of the Spirit Squad and Maris. So here's my breakdown on this match. So Sami Zayn, he has a lot of potential to be one of the greatest champions anyone could ever see. But the one thing that eludes him the most was his rivalry with Kevin Owens. See, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, when they were in the independent circuit, they fought each other so many times that the rivalry now, like, just completely vanished. Somewhat, anyway. So Sami Zayn is a former NXT champion. He held the title for about 4 or 5 months in NXT until he lost it to Kevin Owens. His last match in NXT was at NXT TakeOver Dallas the night before WrestleMania, as he took on the debut of one Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura won with the Kinshasa knee kick, I believe he called it. And his first match in WWE overall was at WrestleMania, and it was for the Intercontinental title. It was a 7-man ladder match between Sami Zayn, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Sin Cara, at the time Stardust, Zack Ryder, and at the time Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens. The match ended with Zack Ryder winning the title, but The Miz took it from Zack Ryder the next night on Raw. And so he took the title to SmackDown, and he lost it to Dolph Ziggler at No Mercy last month. So now that The Miz has it back, this is actually one match this isn't one of those Intercontinental title matches that we will never forget. If I were to predict who would win this match, I would definitely have to say The Miz, because when he first competed in WWE, he was a little too cocky. He was too egotistical. He let his ego get in the way, and that caused him to lose his job in 2009 or 2010. It was in 2009. Alright, so The Miz lost his job in 2009, but got it back like a couple of weeks later or something like that. Now that he's on SmackDown, now that he's been in the company for like 10 years, 11 years, he's more wiser now. He knows what to do in the ring. So I think him using that against Sami Zayn, I think Sami Zayn won't stand a chance. Alright guys, Fantasy Warfare just got real. We now move on to the mega match, as Goldberg, for the first time in 12 years, will be going one-on-one with the Beast Brock Lesnar. Now, this whole thing started on SportsCenter on October 15th of this year, last month. On SportsCenter, Jonathan Coachman asked Goldberg if he were to return to the ring, who would he want to face next. Goldberg said that he did not owe Brock Lesnar a rematch, because the last time that Brock Lesnar and Goldberg were in the same ring together, it was at WrestleMania 20, which was their last match. Both of those men were in their last match against each other at WrestleMania 20 in 2004. But so Goldberg said that, you know what, if I were to return to the ring, that's the match I want, against Brock Lesnar. So Lesnar challenged Goldberg to a fight. So Goldberg said to the fans that maybe he had one more ass kicking left in him. Maybe he has one more spear left in him, and maybe, just maybe, he has one last devastating jackhammer in him. So he told Brock Lesnar on Raw, not only does that mean that he's next, but he's last. So this will be Goldberg's very last match in WWE completely. So earlier this week on Raw, there was a face-to-face between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. So Paul Heyman just kept on talking about Brock Lesnar, how he's going to conquer, victimize, and decimate beaten, victimize, and conquer Goldberg. You know, and Heyman talking about Goldberg's family and all that. So Goldberg Goldberg attacked the security and tried to get Lesnar into the ring so they could fight. Lesnar never said, nope, we're going to do it on my terms. So this match will happen this Sunday at Survivor Series. Now, alright, so here's my breakdown of this. So Goldberg, he's a former WCW champion, a former WCW United States champion, WCW Tag Team champion, and the only man in WCW history to ever have a singles competition record of 173-0. The only man in WCW that actually broke that record was the Big Show. From what I know, I think Big Show was the only one that actually did it. And also, he's a former WWE World Champion as well. And then you got Brock Lesnar, a former UFC champion, WWE champion, WWE World Champion, 2002 King of the Ring, 2003 Royal Rumble, and a former NCAA Division I World Champion. If you ask me, I say these two men are evenly matched. But the question remains, will the ring rust come into play when Goldberg comes back into the ring? Remember, he hasn't been in the ring in 12 years. Sure, he was in the ring for independent shows, promotional shows, promoting WWE 2K17. But I think the ring rust will come into play. But I'm going with Goldberg on this one. Alright guys, it is now time for our triple main event. This one will be these are the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination style matchups. We have one for the tag teams, so it will be a 10-on-10. Then we got one for the women's division and one for the men. Now, for those of you who don't know the rules of the Survivor Series match, I will explain the rules. So, one man from each team will start in the ring at the same time. Elimination occurs by pinfall, submission, disqualification, or countout. When you are eliminated, you are to return to the locker room. This match will go on until all 5 members of one team have been eliminated. The last superstar or superstars is left standing from one team anyway will be declared the winner and sole survivors. Now, we've seen in the past a lot of superstars being the sole survivor. Of course, Dolph Ziggler was one of the sole survivors. Part of the Team Cena versus Team Authority matchup in 2014. We saw Randy Orton be the sole survivor as well, as he was a part of Team SmackDown against Team Raw in 2005. And then, of course, The Rock, the sole survivor for the Team WWE versus Team Alliance in 2001. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the Survivor Series match. The first 5-on-5 match will be for the tag team from representing the tag team division. So this will be a 10-on-10. Now, in this case, when one member of that tag team is eliminated, that whole team will be eliminated. So here's the match. For Team Raw, you got the captains, The New Day, Enzo and Cass, the unlikely tag team of Sheamus and Cesaro, Originally, it was the Golden Truth, but they lost their spot to the Shining Stars, and of course, Gallows and Anderson, known as the Club. That's Team Raw. From Team SmackDown Live, you got the captains, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Slater and Rhino, the Hype Bros, American Alpha, the Usos, and Breezango. So say for example, Luke Gallows eliminate pins. I'll say Tyler Breeze, for example. Let's say that. That means Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango will be eliminated from the match. So that's pretty much how it's gonna go. Alright, so again, those are the teams for Team Raw and Team SmackDown Live. So here's my breakdown on this. I think so the captains for Raw and SmackDown are the Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Slater and Rhino. Slater and Rhino are one of the most oddly tag teams I have ever seen in my entire life. I believe that yes, these teams don't like each other, but it's a battle, it's a war for brand supremacy. So my guess is that the match will probably start with maybe Mojo Rawley and Carl Anderson, I'm guessing. That's my guess. But as we've seen in the past, in the 30 years of Survivor Series, anything can happen. So there are a few tag teams in this match that have been world champion or tag team champions. Of course, the New Day, Sheamus and Cesaro, the Shining Stars when they were just Primo and Epico, the Usos, Slater and Rhino, and of course the Hype Bros. Well, Zack Ryder anyway. Those are the only superstars that have been champion before. And the thing is, some of these tag teams, they're new to the Survivor Series match, like Enzo and Cass, American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and of course Gallows and Anderson. They're new to the match. Oh, and also Breezango as well. I forgot. Those tag teams are new to the Survivor Series match. So you gotta wonder if some of these veterans are gonna help them win for their team. If I were to predict this match, that's a hard one. But I'm gonna have to go with SmackDown on this one because the Usos, they've been tag team champs, what, 2 times, twice, 3 times? And Slater and Rhino, they're one of those oddly tag teams on the roster, on the SmackDown Live roster. So honestly, I like SmackDown's odds. I like their odds because of the Usos, because they know what it's like to be a part of a Survivor Series team, and so does Slater and Rhino. Alright guys, now we move on to the women's division 5-on-5 elimination match. From Team Raw, you got the captain, the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte, teaming up with Bayley, Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, and of course, the boss, Sasha Banks. They will be taking on the captain, Nikki Bella, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella from SmackDown Live. Honestly, this is a hard one to predict, but Alicia Fox, Naomi, and Nikki Bella are the only 3 in this match that know what it's like to be a part of Survivor Series. They know what it's like to be a part of a Survivor Series team, if you will. Because a few years ago there was a Survivor Series match. It was more of a I think it was a 7-on-7 match between the Total Divas and the regular Divas at the time anyway. I think Nikki Bella was the captain and of the Total Divas team, and Divas champion AJ Lee was also the captain of the other team, I think. But yeah, I think Raw's I like Raw's odds because they have because Charlotte and Nia Jax are the only two strongest members of the Raw team, and Charlotte believes that Bayley is going to be the weak link. But we will find out this Sunday at Survivor Series. But in this case, I'm going with Raw, Team Raw on this one. Alright guys, now we move on to the men's 5-on-5 elimination match. From Team Raw, you got the captain, the Universal Champion Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, the United States Champion Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins. They'll be taking on the captain, the WWE World Champion AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, and the Commissioner of SmackDown Live, Shane McMahon. Originally, it was supposed to be Baron Corbin, but because that Kalisto injured Baron Corbin last week on SmackDown Live in Glasgow, Baron Corbin is out. So they replaced him with Shane McMahon. So in this match there are a lot of combustible elements here. You know there could be a lot of matchups in all three of these Survivor Series matches. Starting again going back to the tag teams, it could be the New Day against Slater and Rhino, or it could be the Club against the Usos, the Hype Bros and the Shining Stars. Anything can happen, including in the women's division. It could be Charlotte and Nikki Bella. It could be Sasha Banks and Carmella, for all we know. And of course, the men's team. It could be Kevin Owens against Bray Wyatt, or Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, or Chris Jericho against Shane McMahon, or Randy Orton against Braun Strowman. Anything can happen in these matches. It could be it'll be 5-on-5, and then it could turn into 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 5-on-2, 4-on-3, or even 5-on-1, which has happened before. So there are a lot of combustible elements here. There are a lot of these superstars that don't like each other. Of course, Styles and Jericho, Ambrose and Jericho, Wyatt and Strowman, Rollins and Orton. There are a lot of combustible elements here. But I'm thinking I think I like SmackDown's odds because Bray Wyatt had a huge connection with Braun Strowman in the original Wyatt family. And of course we have all three members of the Shield in this match: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. This match with those three, this match is to determine who the better member of the Shield truly was. Of course, that matchup had already happened at Battlegrounds earlier this year, and the best member of the Shield was Dean Ambrose because he won the triple threat match. So I'm thinking that I'm thinking of some of the more awesome of the more crazy matches we can have. It can also be AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt or Chris Jericho. Anything can happen in these Survivor Series matches. But for the men, I'm gonna have to go I'm gonna have to go with Team SmackDown on this one, because I think with Shane McMahon being the commissioner of SmackDown, and with AJ Styles being the captain of the team, I think that with their minds, I think that they can win. So I'm going with Team SmackDown on this one. Alright guys, well that is it for the breakdown predictions. If you enjoyed this video, please post comment below, like and subscribe for more. And be sure to follow me on Twitter for everything WWE and everything Yu-Gi-Oh! At WWE_Minister for rumors, match card updates, news, and more. And also at Yu-Gi-Oh! Player 96 for future openings, stock profiles, binder updates, and more. I'll put links in the description below so you can check me out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the WWE Network, because when you do, you will get the entire month of November for free, including WWE Survivor Series, where Fantasy Warfare just got real. So if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? And on that, this is your boy Nick here, signing off.